Alright, so in the midst of Sonic Frontiers news, we've learned a decent amount of information about the game. It's not a whole lot, but we have a general idea of what Sonic Frontiers is going to be. We pretty much know how the open zone will function, what cyberspace stages are like, and to a lesser extent, we know a little bit about the combat. But as an annoying Sonic fan who constantly has to complain about dumb stuff that does not matter, I still have a lot of skepticism when it comes to all of those aspects. I will always be rooting for Sonic Frontiers to succeed, but that doesn't mean that I can stay fully confident in the game's success. Like, there's always a possibility that somehow the open zone is a 30-hour grind fest, or the combat is repetitive, or cyberspace is whatever. If you couldn't tell, I have a lot of uncertainty surrounding this game. However, there is one aspect of Sonic Frontiers that I'm genuinely ecstatic for, and that is the story of the game. I am not just excited for the story of Sonic Frontiers, but in a weird way, I'm actually kind of confident that the story will be good in this game. And honestly, it kinda looks like Sonic Frontiers might be shaping up to have the best Sonic story. I seriously do hope this video doesn't age horribly, but if it does, it is what it is. This isn't my first time saying something stupid that might age badly. I did say a few things during the hype season of Sonic Colors Ultimate, but let's just hope Sonic Frontiers is different. Luckily, however, I don't think I have much to worry about, and most of that is due to the clues and hints that have been given to us through the trailers and over social media. So to make it simple, I'm going to segment this video into 3 different sections that explains my reasoning as to why I'm confident in Sonic Frontiers' story. I really hope this video ages well. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry, but anyways, let's just get into it. Okay. So the first big reason as to why I'm excited is a pretty obvious one that I think everyone is expecting. My first reason is that Ian Flynn is the writer for Sonic Frontiers. Now, if you don't know who Ian Flynn is, he is the writer for the Sonic IDW comics, and his work is pretty good. It's not perfect, and it could use some work in some areas, but for the most part, he understands Sonic as a character, and he knows how to tell a great story. I'm not currently caught up with the IDW comics, but from the first 2 arcs that I have read, I can say without a doubt that Ian Flynn is a talented writer. So talented that I'll even drop the mildly hot take that under the context of the first 2 storylines, the IDW comics is the best writing that Sonic the Hedgehog has ever had. Yes, better than Sonic Adventure 2, better than Sonic Unleashed, and better than Sonic and the Black Knight. Ian Flynn is a straight G. I think what I enjoy most about Ian Flynn's writing is that he never shies away from telling a story that is very climactic and intense. Something that is absurdly annoying to me is when you find a cartoon or a show that greatly underestimates children's understanding of simple concepts. They will dumb down everything trying to make the youthful demographic stay entertained, and while that does work most of the time, there's still something special about a serious story that younger audiences can enjoy. A TV show that I always point to is Avatar: The Last Airbender. That show is directly targeted at a younger demographic, yet it has so many serious topics and climactic moments. And guess what? It's peak fiction because of it. The Sonic IDW comics are very similar in the sense that it's still meant for a younger demographic, but it's not afraid to tell a climactic story, and I find that pretty cool. Unfortunately, for the past decade, Sonic has fallen into the trap of dumbing everything down so that Neanderthals can have an understanding of what's going on. That is very unfortunate, because Sonic used to be known for having serious and climactic stories. We saw this with the adventure games and the Dark Age games. It wasn't always good, but the climactic stories is part of what makes Sonic's identity. Like, even to an extent, the classic Sonic games had climactic events happening. Like in Sonic 2, he's getting saved from death by Tails, and in Sonic 3, he's traveling through space in super form trying to get the Master Emerald back from Dr. Robotnik. That stuff is cool. That's part of why I'm a Sonic fan. So what we need in Sonic Frontiers is another story with stakes and consequences. Thankfully, from the looks of it, that seems to be exactly what we're getting. We can already see Ian Flynn's influence on the tone of the game through some of the trailers and even some stuff that he's said over social media. In the trailer, we get to see Sage flat out say that Sonic's reckless actions are endangering the world, which, oh my, the implications of that line is insane. I've already talked about this in a previous video, so I won't get too invested here, but what this line implies to me is that maybe Sonic is doing something that he believes is right, but whatever Sonic is doing is having negative consequences on the world that he's currently in. Now, if that's the case, then we're about to have a great story on our hands. The idea of Sonic potentially making mistakes or even being confronted with a moral dilemma is the type of writing that I like to see in a Sonic game. And I have a sneaking suspicion that something along those lines is happening here, because if you know Ian Flynn's writing, you know that when he writes a line like this, it means something. That line is going to be important to the story, we just need to know how it's going to be important. But as of right now, we don't currently know much about it, so let's just go look at some of the other details that we have a bit more confirmation on, such as the wonderful world of Twitter. So recently we got 2 songs revealed to us, being I'm Here and Vandalize. Both songs, in my opinion, are fantastic, and they both just reek of 2000s era vibes, which I can always get down with. Like, just saying, guys, I will take zero slander of the song Vandalize. That song is goated, alright? It may not relate back to the story, but that might be my favorite ending theme for a Sonic game. Vandalize is just so good, man. I'm happy it's in the game. My inner edginess just peaked with that song. I'm grinning just thinking about it. It's such a good song. Now, with that said, I believe they went with this type of rock music because they're pursuing a much more serious tone story. Otherwise, they would have obviously toned down their music choices because, I mean, like, this is some hardcore rock. But if you don't believe me, then take it from the words of the writer himself. Ian Flynn posted on Twitter in response to the song I'm Here, once you beat the game, the lyrics are going to carry a lot more weight. Now, if you paid attention to the lyrics of I'm Here, you'd know that the lyrics are talking about some pretty climactic stuff. Like, one line is, with my life, I fight this fear. So, you know what? I think this game is going to go hard. This tone has me hyped. I've been waiting for a Sonic game like this for so long, dude. Anyways, let's move on to the next reason. Okay, so this one may seem strange, but something that's got me really excited is the cutscenes for the story. From what we could see of the Gamescom leaked footage, the cutscenes seem to be a massive step up from Sonic Forces. In Sonic Forces, the cutscenes weren't necessarily bad, but it just mostly consisted of characters just kind of standing around waving their arms at each other. But Sonic Frontiers seems to have a lot more going on. Like, I saw some pretty good shots within these cutscenes. Like, there's one where Sonic is laying down unconscious and the camera sort of just pans out towards the sky. And that is something I just did not expect to see from a Sonic game. Like, this game is oddly shot well. There's also a cutscene where Sonic is fighting this Colossus type enemy and he just gets smacked by him. He just gets thrown across the sky and he even hits the side of a mountain. When I saw that, it was pleasantly surprising because in Sonic Forces, they never really put that much effort into a cutscene. So that was pretty nice to see. It was very dynamic indeed. There's also the fact that Roger Craig Smith, who is the current Sonic voice, sounds a lot different in these cutscenes. He's not constantly at high energy and he actually kind of chills out in this game, which I'm kinda mixed about, to be honest. I've only heard a few lines, so maybe it gets better, but honestly, I think Roger was best in Sonic Forces. I know that is an insane take, but I actually thought Roger did a great job in Sonic Forces. I thought he was pretty good at pulling the quips, and his normal tone of voice wasn't that bad in my opinion. But again, it was only a few lines in Sonic Frontiers, so there's always a possibility that Roger's performance gets better throughout the game. We'll have to wait and see. And I just want to end off this section by clarifying that I am still a Roger Craig Smith supporter. I think he's an awesome Sonic voice, and I hope he stays Sonic for the next coming years. With that said, let's move on. The last major reason that I want to talk about is the fact that this story is ambitious. I love ambitious storytelling, and it seems like we're getting just that with Sonic Frontiers. There seems to be a serious tone, better cutscenes, and it's all looking like the game is trying to feel like a completed high-budget Sonic experience. And we haven't had one of those for quite some time now. I'm glad that SEGA didn't give up on the ambitious storytelling because I feel like that's an important aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog. Without storytelling, it's just a game with gameplay. Sure, storytelling may not be the deciding factor of what makes a video game good or bad, but a good story is what makes a game memorable. I mean, look at Sonic Adventure 2. That game had such an impactful and iconic story, and now people won't shut up about it. A story is what ties everything together and makes the experience whole. Thank you, SEGA, for learning the correct message from Sonic Forces, because the 2010s was mostly filled with lighthearted stories that didn't really amount to much. Sonic Forces seemed like an attempt at serious and ambitious storytelling, but unfortunately it fell flat on its face. When a good concept falls flat in the Sonic franchise, I always have a natural fear that SEGA will just drop it with the next game. They didn't do that this time. They were able to evaluate that the issues with Sonic Forces wasn't the serious tone, and it was actually just the writing that people didn't like. My wish for Sonic Frontiers is for the game to be great, obviously, but I also want the story to be an absolute banger. The story of Sonic Forces seems so cool. You have this apocalyptic setting with a city on fire and giant robots. That looked so beyond cool. I love that idea. But it came out as a repetitive and boring story that I don't even want to watch the cutscenes of that game. It's that bad. Please do not let the same thing happen to Sonic Frontiers. Please do not ruin this great idea for a story. Thankfully, when it comes to Sonic Frontiers, I have confidence that SEGA knows what they're doing for when it comes to storytelling at the very least. If they just let Ian Flynn do his thing and don't force too much into his writing, I think we'll have a fantastic and memorable story on our hands. And on that note, that's all I have to say for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell with post notifications on if you want to be notified of my future Sonic content. Anyways, I love you guys. I will see you very soon. It's gonna be a busy month. Adios. My channel members are Epic Gaming with George, Reese, Nix, JaneXV, Ethan K78, Junior Ring, Sonic Man 715, ArchXYZ, Sonic Up, Thomas Winry, Chip Chip Chopscape, The Squeaker Nerd, Super Shax, Boom Sonic Extreme, and Super Saiyan Sonic. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Make sure to click one of the end card screen videos here. I love you guys. Peace out.